Trains went brilliant. Last week now of hard work, and then fight week next week. So I'm feeling good. I'm in good shape. Everything else is good. The weight's good. Sparring's been brilliant. So I'm looking forward to it.
What day do you fly to America?
I'm not going to fly till next Wednesday. There's no rush really. Like it's on a Sunday, so I usually would fly out on a Monday. I've been fighting on a Saturday, but even then, sometimes I feel it's too long. The Monday and Tuesday you'd be doing nothing, so there's no point in me going out till the Wednesday this time.
You were telling me you've been sparring with some great sparring partners. Gamal Yafai, world champion. What's that like? What's that been like?
He's the brother. He's the younger brother. He's the heavier one. It's been good. You know, I mean, he came down for the last week of sparring, so I'll have one with him yesterday, and then I'll have one tomorrow. But the rest of camp will be sparring Davy Oliver Joyce, and a few other prospects. I have a kid in from South Africa who's 14-0, 13 KOs. I think he's ranked 14 in the world. So, you know, it's been great. I'm feeling good.
This will be coming up to like 2 years with Adam now, won't it be?
Yeah.
And
no, 1 year with Adam. 1 year was the first year.
First year at Manny Robles. How have you been finding the training?
I think it's been fantastic. I feel that I'm learning every single day with Adam. He's a fantastic coach, a fantastic mentor. Not just yourself, not just in the sport outside of the ring. He kind of helps gauge you in the way to approach things and how your mindset needs to be. So it's been fantastic. I feel I'm learning all the time, and I'm adding an awful lot to my game each time we're in the gym.
When I went with Adam, I started training with him in 2012, and I had fights here and there, but I was learning all the time in the gym. But it really wasn't until 2014, so 2 years into my time with him, where I felt like I was grasping what he was trying to teach me. You know, I went to him, and I was at that stage. I'd fought for a world title, and then I go to Adam, and I almost feel like I'm starting as a beginner. Yeah. Have you experienced any of that?
100%, Bandy. I know the feeling. I know exactly what you feel like you're a novice again for some reason. You can't, like, simple things that I'll probably be able to do if I didn't think about it. But when you have to think about these things and understand these things, you start to make them hard for yourself and complicate them. But Adam has a great way of bringing it back to the basics and you know, helping you reconstruct things which you've probably been doing wrong, which you didn't think you were doing wrong. But definitely, I find even still, you know, there's still an awful lot. I'm still not the finished article with Adam. We're still working on a lot of things and perfecting things, because, you know, I still have a lot of amateur boxing tendencies, you know, on the toes, up too straight at times, and coming out too high. But, you know, these are all things which we've been working on since I get into the gym, and it just takes time, as you know, that they kind of get rid of the old ways in the Adams type of boxing.
For me, it definitely affected my confidence. You know, in those times, it kind of makes you guess yourself. And sometimes you have to remind yourself, especially in your case, you're a two-time Olympian, you're a world champion as an amateur, and you're undefeated as a pro. Wherever those kind of thoughts in your head where you think, like, am I ever going to get this? Or
definitely, or sometimes I think when I'm doing things and I can't get what he's telling me to do, and I can't seem to grasp it. It's like I feel like sometimes I'm terrible. I feel like I'm not even as good as what I've done. Sometimes I've been wondering how have I achieved so much when I'm doing these things wrong. So sometimes it does knock your confidence, but it's all just a learning game, isn't it?
Well, the payoff in the long run, you know, you kind of have to persevere and just trust in the process. What Adam says, you know, the journey is the destination, as you know. Yeah. He's well versed in saying that. So talk to me about Ruben Garcia Hernandez. What kind of threat does he pose?
No, listen, he's very tough. He's been stopped once, and I watched it about he got stopped, and he fought Randy Caballero, and it was just consistent pressure, and he was young still, and Randy just after winning the world title, so he was out to make a statement in his hometown. But I watched him against Dinner. He's tricky. He's your typical kind of Mexican where, you know, he can go to war if you give him confidence. But if you take his confidence away really quick or don't let him gain any confidence, you know, he's going to probably be a bit negative at times, but always looking to counter and always looking to like put the shots together. He'll be in front of me. He's not going to be running like crazy, but I think he still kind of will be negative and tough. He's a tough, durable dude.
Yeah, well, you're kind of, in some ways, you're kind of, not that you kind of, because you're so skillful, it kind of works against you, because some of the fights I've seen, and I would always check out who you're fighting, your opponents, and have a little look at them before the fight, and say, well, this guy'd come to fight. But then when they're stood in front of you, and they see your skill set, and when you're countering them, every move they make, they do go into the shell, and then it becomes even harder for you. You're in a tough position.
It's hard, and you're right. It's crazy. I remember, like, every time Top Rank give a dude, and they say this dude's going to come forward. He's exactly what you've been asking for. They get into the ring and they don't. You know, there's some fighters I've watched a lot of their fights faced, and any of these they're fighting, they're going forward and pressuring. But when they get in with me, they seem after like the first 30 seconds, they do not seem to want to commit, and it does put you in an awkward position when you're me, who's a counter puncher predominantly, and I like people to try and put the pressure on me because that suits my kind of game. But it seems like I have to force an awful lot of the stuff, and that's a lot of the thing we've been working on in the gym with Adam is, you know, how we're going to attack and how we're going to get in close and work these little angles and work the aggression, which, you know, you have to have everything in pro boxing. So, you know, I've always kind of had these skills, but we just need to perfect them.
You're also up against it because you're such a big name that these guys will fight better, because if they can go the distance with you, or even if they can even test you, then it's kind of like a feather in their cap, and they're likely to get more fights. So the guys will always step up the game when they come to fight you.
It's like a big target on my back, isn't it? So
yeah,
you're always the guy people want to beat.
I've been close to you in a couple of your pro fights now. The fight in May in New York, and your last fight with Jason Cunningham. One thing that struck me about you, your reaction to the fight, even though you dominated both fights, won clearly every round, most of the rounds against Cunningham, you were very hard on yourself after the fight.
Yeah.
What do you think that is? What do you think that is? Are you your worst critic, or?
I think so, Andy. You know what it is? I've done so much now, and being so successful. I am a perfectionist, and if it's not perfect, even sparring for me, if it's not perfect, I'm not happy. And it's the wrong kind of mindset at times, because, you know, you can beat yourself up a lot too much. And I think Adam has seen I do that an awful lot, and he's kind of had to work with me with it. And my own parents, my dad especially, John, he's always saying to me, you're way too hard on yourself. You know, perfection, you know, nobody is ever going to be perfect. It's very, very, you can be close to it, but you're never really going to be perfect. So you gotta live with it. But I want to kind of be the best I can be, and show my whole skill set and what I can really do, because I know I have a lot of ability, and I just don't feel I've brought it across enough. You
mentioned your dad, John. Obviously, he's your father, but he's also your coach for all your amateur career, and is always is very close with you. And also your brother Jamie. What kind of relationship or working relationship do you have with with both of them?
I speak to them every day. I speak to them every single day I'm in camp. I would, and especially before sparring, after sparring, I would ring them, let them know how I'm getting on, who I'm sparring, what things they would think I should work on. And it's just basically the same as Adam's telling me. And then after, I would ring them and tell them if I got on well, or if it didn't go so well. And they're always just giving me advice. So, you know, they're big parts of my career. Jamie's basically managing me now, and, you know, he's someone whose opinion I always value. You know, and if I send him any videos of him sparring, how do they get on, he'll always be brutally honest with me. Same with my dad. And, you know, that's what you want. They're two people who I know will always be brutally honest.
At this point, you're 2 years into your pro career. You've achieved more. You achieved a lot more already. Headline in the Garden, which is a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going in the next 2 years?
You know, see, this time next year, St. Patrick's Day at the Garden, I would love to fight for the world title there. And I think that's the aim of Top Rank, what we've been speaking about and stuff. They have been talking about it, and they're even saying maybe this year, but they want to hold off till next year, kind of. And you know, I don't mind that. I'm happy. Top Rank are known for doing this kind of time and time again of turning amateur fighters into world champions and superstars of the sport of boxing. So I trust Damon. I trust my team. Trust Adam. I feel I'm in a very good position. So hopefully this time next year I'll be fighting for a world title.
And are there any of the champions at the moment that you would look at or you would fancy going in against?
Any of them, Andy. Any one of them has a belt. That's I don't mind whoever it is. If it's Warrington, Valdez, if it's Santa Cruz, any of those guys, I don't mind. Whoever it is, it is.
There's always, being from Belfast, being a featherweight, there's always, I don't know, people maybe always compare you to, but do you ever see yourself fighting Carl Frampton someday?
I don't think so. Me and Carl, we have a great friendship now. I remember when I was younger, I wanted the world, and I was saying I want to fight Carl. But the more older I've got, and the closer friendship I've gained with him, obviously we're the same management now, but mainly the closer friendship I've gained with him, you can see that from both opposite sides of the community, and it would not be good for the city. So, it's not a fight I think I need to do. If we were both forced to fight each other and there was huge money on the line, I'm sure both of us would do it, but I honestly just don't think it would be good for Belfast, so I can't see it.
This is your third time fighting at the Garden?
The third time since St. Patrick's Day, yeah.
Yeah, and you're headlining. How do you deal with the pressure? I
feel like I'm used to it now. I think because I got thrown into the deep end in my debut and stuff, and the whole facade of everything and the media obligations and all, it was like someone having a world title fight with that kind of atmosphere and that kind of build up. So, I'm kind of used to it now. It's just another fight for me, and especially when you fight there on St. Patrick's Day and the atmosphere in the crowd, I think it adds like an extra few levels to my game. And I think I boxed there first time and I was obviously nervous. I don't think my performance was too good because I just wanted to get the dude out of there. But the second time it was nice controlled, and I got the guy out second round stoppage. I dropped him with a body shot, and I thought that was game over. But he get up and I just pummeled him away and finished it. So I feel that performance alone has showed that I was able to stay cool, calm, and collected, and go in there and get the job done.
Any chance of Conor McGregor making an appearance?
No, I don't think so. He's too busy with his proper 12 stuff. So
yeah.
I don't need him there this time. No, I didn't need him there the first time either. But it was good. It added to the occasion.
Yeah, Michael, thanks very much for joining us. Thank you for your time, and we wish you the best luck on March 17th.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon.